In this lesson, we're going to be looking at how to insert the zipper into the back of our skirt. Now, the zipper insertion technique that we're going to be doing is the lap zip. This is what that looks like. The left edge side of the skirt will overlap the right and conceal the zipper on the inside. The zip that we need for this is an ordinary skirt zipper that has the zipper pull, has a zipper teeth on the right side of the zipper. That's the one that you're looking for. To insert the zip, we're going to prepare the back of our skirt in this way. This sample represents the back of my skirt. This is my waist edge, and this is my hip line. You're going to construct the back of your skirt by closing the center back seam up to the hip level, and then you leave the remaining of that section seam open to the waist edge. Additionally, what I have done on the wrong side of this sample is I have ironed on some interfacing on the seam allowance of the skirt on both sides. And the reason I've done that is just to add stability and strength to this section. And also it gives a really lovely finish when the skirt is completed. So once you have your skirt back prepped and it looks like this, the seam is closed all the way to the hip line and opened up the rest of the way to the waist. This distance between the waist and the hip is what we're going to be closing with a zipper. So you need to measure here to determine the length of the zipper that you will need for your skirt. For this section, you're going to need to have your zipper. You need to have some pins. And you're going to take the zipper with the zipper teeth facing up and the pull facing towards you. Insert that in the opening. You're going to take the right side of your skirt back and you're going to position that along the zipper teeth, butting it against the edge of the teeth as close as you can without overlapping. And secure that in place with pins. Once you've done this with pins, you can also choose to do a row of basting stitch as well to secure this into position. Whatever you find works easier for you and helps the process to go more smoothly. We're going to then take this to the sewing machine and we're going to construct a row of stitch as close as we can to the edge of the zipper teeth without actually stitching on them. So this needs to be fairly close. And the best way to do this is to use the zipper foot to help us. So that's what we're going to do next. So let's show you what that looks like. So that's the edge of the skirt. And that is now right alongside the zipper teeth. So the right side of the skirt, right side along the edge of the zipper teeth. That's in place. Now I'm going to go to the machine and I'm going to replace my ordinary foot with the zipper foot. This is an adjustable zipper foot, which allows me to stitch quite close to the zipper teeth. So when it is in position, It will allow the edge of the foot to be right against the zipper teeth, and so give me a very, very, very narrow stitch that goes right along the zipper teeth and will help in this insertion because we need to, in the next step, overlap that previous stitching line. And so that stitching line needs to be very close to the zipper so that when that side overlaps it, it hides the previous stitch that we have done. All right, so let's change the zipper foot and then we'll go to the next step. At the back of the machine, there's a little lever. When that lever is pressed, it releases the foot, the ordinary zipper foot. So before that was taken off, this is what that would have looked like. That's your ordinary foot into position. And when you press that lever here, it opens up and releases the foot. I'll just put that back in place and do that again for you. Okay. So we press that little knob and the foot will fall off. And this is on the snap-on zipper foots. So this will snap-on machine foot. So this will fall off. And then in its place, I'm going to replace the zipper foot. So I'm just lining that up with the bar under the claw so that when I open up, when I push that lever in and I lower down my presser foot lever, it should allow the claws to open and snap that foot in place. Let's line that up again. Okay. So it has now caught that and the zipper foot is now in place instead. So now that the zipper foot is there, I'm going to do a row of stitch from the top all the way down to the opening. I'm going to, when I come to the zipper pull, it will not allow me to carry on stitching because that would be in the way. So what I will have to do is to stop with my needle in the fabric, and then I will be able to move the zipper pull out of the way to carry on. Let's see what that looks like. Come to the zipper pull, going to stop, going to lift up the presser foot, and push the zipper pull out of the way. Could be a little bit fiddly, but just grab hold of it and push it out of the way. Make sure that when you're doing that, you keep your needle in the fabric so it keeps the position where you are. And then once that's complete, I'm going to then lower my foot down again so I can carry on stitching. Things are as we approach them. And I'm going to stop at the opening. At this point, I'm going to lift up my presser foot. And once I've reinforced the stitching here, I can take that away. So I'm going to do a reverse stitch here. Just holding down the reverse button so that it stitches backward, just so that it gives me a few back stitch and strengthens that area. Then I'll take that out to do the next step. So this is what I have so far. one row of stitch, one row of stitch on the right side of the zipper. Okay. And from the right side, you can see that it has been attached quite close to the edge of the zipper. Now, what I need to do next is to create a guideline that will help me to stitch the opposite side. The opposite side now will be stitched, will be overlapped to hide the zipper, and then I'm going to create a bar, stitch at the bottom, right across, and then from there I'll carry on straight up towards the waistline. So to provide a guide, I'm going to draw in a stitching line on the left-hand side. I'm going to make it about 6 millimeters or a quarter of an inch. And I'll just draw a straight line there. So let's do that. Helping the construction of the left side, I have created a bar across the bottom that is 6 millimeters from the edge of the fabric. And then I've carried on with that 6 millimeter, a line the way from the top to the bottom. And that would be the guideline for stitching on the opposite side. To ensure that this is going to be stitched in the correct place, I'm going to pin the left side so that it overlaps the stitch from the previous side. And as it's overlapping, the stitching line from the previous side is also then concealing the zipper on the inside. We're going to carry on doing that all the way to the waist edge. So at the sewing machine, this is what we're going to do. We're going to complete a bar across at the bottom, stop with our needle in position, and then we're going to turn around and carry on doing this stitching line all the way up to the edge. That's the line that we have drawn in. You can make this line anywhere from a quarter of an inch to a half an inch in depth. Whatever you find easiest for you to maneuver. Sometimes if you do 6 millimeter, it may not give you as much wiggle room to work with. So you can enlarge that up to a half of an inch. But I would say no more than a half of an inch. Otherwise, it does give a lot of gaping. And so your zipper doesn't remain semi-concealed as it should be for this method. Okay, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to be stitching across the bottom, stopping at that point, pivoting, and then carrying on stitching all the way to the top. You will come to a point when you cannot stitch past because the zipper pull is in the way. Remember to leave your needle in position, lift up your presser foot, and bring the zipper pull out of the way so that you can carry on stitching all the way to the end. So let's do that now. You lift up the pivot. I can carry on stitching towards the top. As I'm stitching, I'm just making sure that the edge is covering the stitching line from the previous side. Zipper pull out of the way. Once you finish, you take your out to the side and cut off your ends. Let's have a look at what we have. This is what we have. We have a stitching line on the right hand side that's very close to the zipper teeth. Going across at the bottom, bar tack, carrying on all the way to the other end. The left-hand side of the zipper overlaps the zip and also hides the stitching line from the right-hand side. And that's the finish that we are aiming for. This is our semi-conceal or lap zipper insertion. I hope you get a very good result when you have done yours.